you seen the post he shared?
I mean, he's been sharing a lot of posts. I'm still stuck at That's My Michelle.
That's old news, man. You're stuck at 2024. This year is about the destruction. From NFL Hall of Famer to ESPN superstar to now facing some of the craziest allegations we've seen this year. Shannon Sharpe is accused of assault, coercion, and the R word. And he's facing a $50 million lawsuit that could technically has already destroyed his $100 million podcast empire. And now Michael Irvin, someone who's been in the situation, we've covered him in the past extensively. That was a real crazy allegation. Guys, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. You can search it on our channel. Michael Irving is chiming in and sharing his 2 cents on what is happening. Fair use.
Because I don't know if I can remain real with you guys of knowing that I've had history and I don't say anything about it. And it's not my way anyway. But be not deceived. I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. Because I work hard to keep it out of my life. I don't even like talking because I don't want to bring it around me. And every man worries about it, or what he's going through. And this is what it is. Because now he's venturing into a place where it's just lose-lose for him. People say, why would you offer $10 million? You must have had something, you must have done something, you must have done something. No, it doesn't mean you're guilty. This is and that's a hell of a nuisance value. What a lot of people have to do is have to determine if there's a nuisance value to make it just get out of here. If it's something that can destroy you, and you're seeing what's happening, and their side, they're not going to put everything out at once. They're going to keep putting little things out, one at a time. So everybody will talk about this today. Then you'll give it a couple of days and something else will come out, put out something new. That's why in the beginning, a lot of people were shocked to hear that he offered $10 million. But that's what they call in that business a nuisance value. Now,
I mean, we've got these shocking accusations, leaked text messages, leaked audio files, threats, viral Instagram mistakes, and a courtroom battle. I mean, this is gonna shock everyone. I mean, it's already shocking. It already has consequences for Shannon. He's off ESPN. They asked him to step away nicely. He shared their text message instead of putting it in his own words. It is what it is. RJ, let's break this down.
KaiR, I have a question. I was under the impression that Shannon was the one who stepped back. But now you're saying that they asked him to step back?
Have you seen the post he shared?
I mean, he's been sharing a lot of posts. I'm still stuck at That's My Michelle.
That's old news, man. You're stuck at 2024. This year is about the destruction. Not the destruction of Michelle, but the destruction of Shannon. Anyway, so if you look at the picture, let me see if I can find it real quick.
So he was sharing what the woman texted her. Let me read it real quick. My statement is found here, and this is the truth. Yeah, I read this. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. Yeah, that's why I thought. So I was under the impression that
look at the bubble. On what side is the bubble going? Do you have an iPhone or do you have
I have an iPhone.
A Samsung? I have an iPhone. Okay. Look
Wait,
at the corner.
Let me check.
Look at where the corner is heading to. Bottom left.
Okay, is this a message? Let me see. Okay. But it could also be KR that he I get what you're saying, but it could also be that he shared it with his social media manager.
And they are sharing it back. Okay, you could be. That's you could.
Yeah. Come on, man.
There's these
Now they're
damn lawyers, man. These damn lawyers can wiggle out of anything.
I'm just saying.
Well, I guess they can wiggle him out of this one, but
Well, let's proceed, man. What can you tell us about the story?
let's go back to last week where this dropped. Of course, we are talking about the crazy allegations by none other than Jane Doe. By now, after these accusations were revealed by, of course, who else, RJ? Tony. Tony is back. I have a feeling, RJ, Tony has us lined up as well, because we've been talking a lot about Tony and his else he's been taken in the Diddy case. He's lining us up. He has us somewhere. We're at line 100, but we are in that list.
Yeah.
He won't
Yeah,
get anything, but
Yeah, Tony is like a very. He has that shady vibe with him, that sleazy slime ball vibe is what he has, and that's just when I look at him, I look at his style, his appearance, it just gives that vibe off. And I mean, on the one hand, it's good that you're known as an attorney, because he's an injury attorney, I believe. So it's a good thing that he's known for going and filing cases against artists and famous people, celebrities, because of course it's a niche. So if you're in that niche, that's a great thing. However, if you keep losing cases, that's not a good look either. And there comes a point where you're only going to be getting, or at least he's only going to be getting, diminishing returns. And I think he's past that point, to be honest. But
well, I don't know about that. He's still on the up, RJ, because if you can remember, it was Tony who filed the lawsuits back to back against your quarterback, or let's say the masseuse.
First and foremost, KR, we've had this conversation already. I was never a Browns fan. I never used to watch NFL. I started watching when Baker Mayfield was appearing on all those sports shows. I shared a video with you, and then you basically, well, before I knew it, I had some Browns gear in the house and
merch.
Some merch, yeah.
We're on the up, but going back, he filed, RJ. He's been, whether he took an L in that Diddy case. And we'll have to see how that turns out, because of course there's a lot of lawsuits that are still up there. No one knows what the next move will be, but he has still a winning streak with the Deshaun Watson cases. And this is the thing with, and we're gonna take a look at the accusations, but this is the problem with when you're dealing with someone like Tony. You gotta know the MO. Once you start settling with Tony,
he's gonna keep nickeling.
He will keep chipping away.
Yeah, nickel and dime you.
You're gonna get 10 cases. You're gonna get cases from girls that were consensual. They're gonna say, this man did something to me, who knows what, and then before you know it, you're paying $5 million a piece. Before you know it, you're at 50, and he's getting half of all that money.
Yeah, I mean, if he files 100 cases in a year, which is an exaggeration, and he goes the all or nothing route, he wins 5 cases, or at least he settles.
But by winning, you mean settling?
By settling, yeah. So, and he settles. He gets a minimum $1 million a pop. At a minimum, that would mean $5 million right there. He's probably settling more cases with a higher average. So it's just one MO, go for it, try to settle, try and nickel and dime you, and that's his business model basically.
I guess Shannon isn't blessed for playing in snow. Let's continue with Michael Irving.
You look at the 10, I look at 10 and say, oh, that's real. But from him, and I'm sure all his advisors and lawyers and everything, they're not looking at the 10, they're looking at the 100 that was in the press 2 weeks ago. So they're saying, oh God, do we just get the 10 so we can take in the 90? Because what's happening now is what they were worried about the most. They were willing to give the 10 to take in the 90. That was probably the best business move. And I'm sure that's what they were thinking. Because now, rather she gets anything or not, and at some point, all they're going to do is keep releasing things until you relent. And I worry if every time something comes out, do those numbers continue to change? That 10 to 90. Now they bring something out, it could go 30 and 70. You see what I'm saying? Until it gets to a point where, I don't know, does he lose everything? That's what I'm concerned about. That's why I was talking about this. This is worst place to get. And if the game was played for truth, nobody would be doing this. We'll wait till we get to the courtroom. But the game isn't played for truth.
The game isn't played for the truth.